All right.
Hello, world.
I got a bit of a time crunch, so let's roll.
I love it. I'm in. I'm ready when you are. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
3, 2, 1.
Tonight on Totem Talks, 2 acts lying to your face. Is your favorite musical artist a big fat liar? Find out at 11.
Wow. Okay. I was not expecting that at all. I guess I
we
also
hit the
wasn't
news.
expecting you to. I had it. Totem. No. I'm trying to think of how I would sing an instrumental song that I wanted to sing, but also
Yeah.
say Totem Talks, and it's not going to happen.
Listen, it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
But instead, I thought it was more important for our audience, our collective listener, to get the scoop, the facts,
Absolutely.
as we uncover a scandal unbeknownst to the music world of liars, Nick. True liars.
I'm very upset about it.
As we all should be.
About it.
I know. All right, welcome into another episode of Totem Talks. This is season 8, episode 13, lucky number 13,
That's
and
right.
we went diving for some funk. We found some weird funk.
We did.
And now we're gonna get it checked out.
Yeah, we'll check it out. We're doctors.
Yeah, we're checking out each other's funk, basically.
Yeah, which is a very common practice.
It's totally normal and expected.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into that, before we get into the funk of it all, you're probably sitting there wondering to yourself, like, what is this? Who are these people? How have I ended up in this place? To which I say that that's Nick. I'm Pat. We're Totem Talks. We're a musical-based podcast, a podcast of music. Again, there's no singing involved. Although, realistically, there might be singing involved. I can't...
Buy music for music.
Yes, exactly. All made of music, actually. The code is musical.
Yeah.
The streaming code itself. The stream key is music. But we are on a task, a journey, our own mission to discover the greatest musical artist of all time. And we have done so far a wonderful job of finding who that isn't.
Yeah.
And I think we will continue.
Possibly maybe who it was.
Yeah, maybe who it was a while ago. Well, that'll be discussed.
Yeah, who knows?
At some point in life. But why don't you, Nick, let us know who we, in fact, covered today? Because I completely forgot.
Of course. We are kicking things off with John Cleary. And then we are moving right along to the Average White Band.
Wonderful.
There we go.
Wonderful stuff. And then we're going to find out why all of these people are big fat liars.
Yes, exactly. There is a common theme there.
It's that everyone has lied to us and betrayed us.
They have.
Cool, man. So I guess, why don't we just get started?
Your artist is first, so I'll let you keep rolling.
Yeah, John Cleary. Now, what makes him a liar is right in the first sentence here. Because John Cleary is a British-born American funk and R&B musician based in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah.
We covered 3 albums from Mr. Cleary himself. We started with Alligator Lips and Dirty Rice from 1994.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah, before we get started, I mean, what a title.
Yeah, it's a great title.
What a title. That's the most New Orleans title I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, can I actually get something out of the way while we're talking about that album and the name and everything specifically? Yeah. I think that album cover is almost a great album cover, and it is completely fucking ruined by the giant red John Cleary written on it. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes, and I know most artists, of course, want to put their name on the album somewhere or the title, but there's some really great and iconic album covers that don't have that written on the front. And I think this could have been like a great album cover without that on the front.
So there is an alternate one.
Okay, is it the same thing but without John Cleary on it? Because I think
kind of
like it gives me like an In Through the Outdoor vibe.
I'll show you.
Okay.
It's better.
Okay.
It's the same picture, but wider, more sepia tone than.
Sure.
But it's definitely better. But I agree with what you're saying about the first one.
It's a great cover, and I just wish that so much of it wasn't obstructed by his name, just like thrown on there real big.
I completely agree.
Okay. All right.
But moving on. So we covered Alligator Lips and Dirty Rice. Clearly some opinions already.
Oh, yeah.
We followed that up with technically not a John Cleary solo project, but I thought the odds of us coming back and covering John Cleary and the Absolute Monster Gentlemen were slim to none.
Exactly. All of it.
So we are going to follow that up with Pin Your Spin, which came out in 2004. And then we wrapped things up with So Swell, which came out either in 2020 or 2023, depending on your source. Okay. I have no way of knowing which one is the real time.
You're right. There's no way for us to know.
I'm letting you know that right now. It will when you see it at the lower third on our screen, it'll say 2023. It could just as easily be 2020. It's one of them.
Fair enough.
And I guess I'll just get us started
going.
Here. Yeah, I'll just keep going here. So Alligator Lips and Dirty Rice. So here's the thing. John Cleary was my artist for the week, and you'll find that out when I do my little factoid thing at the end. An emphasis on little. Prepare yourselves. Mm-hmm. But I had no idea who he was. Really, I'd heard the name, didn't really pay attention, didn't do my research until after I listened, which is my normal modus operandi. And so the fact that this man is a British man is disguised perfectly in the music, because you would never be able to tell.
Never.
It's impossible.
I found out this week upon doing the research, and I had heard his music before and was aware of who he was for like over a decade.
Yeah. So I did not know on this album the first time as I was listening to it, I looked him up just on Google. Not even to get, not even to do my research. And the first line in Google is that he's British born. Yeah, and so then because then I'm realizing oh shit, I need to now figure out who's singing. There's not a lot of information about this album online. Yeah. And I need to figure out who the singer is, because I like the vocals. Mm-hmm. And it's clearly not the British guy. He's playing the instruments. And then I found out it was the British guy, John Cleary, singing the songs as well. And it really threw me through a loop, because this dude sounds straight out of the bayou in every line. I don't know I don't know if it's just a really strong affectation, if he's doing it on purpose, if maybe he just spent so much time there that he just sounds like that now. I don't know. I will say, just glancing at this, Discogs has the wrong year for this one as well, or a different year, because it says 1989.
Oh, interesting.
Basically, what's happening here is Discogs, one of the sites that we use for our albums information, has a year, and Wikipedia, the other site we typically use for
I have 94 on All Music as well.
All Music has 94 as well. So Discogs might just be wrong on all these years.
Think probably.
Just throwing that out there. It came out in a year. We were either alive or not alive. There's no way of knowing.
That goes for all years, by the way. Past and future.
That is true. Okay. All that to say, this album is just so thematically perfect. In name, in feel, in vibe. Like when I hear the name Alligator Lips and Dirty Rice, I'm immediately picturing New Orleans, funky jazz, R&B situation. And that's exactly what this album is. It's all those things. It's probably not that jazzy, but it's definitely funky, and this really nice blues, R&B, a boogie involved. And it's just so good. It's so fun to listen to. I was thrilled by it. I was thrilled that it was exactly what I thought it was going to be, other than the fact that this dude's British. Had no idea. But other than that, it was just so fun to listen to. I'm sitting there, I'm listening to it in work, and I'm literally I normally don't like to bop at work.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'll listen to music, but I like to be stoic in it. Yeah, I'm sitting there bopping. I can't stop the bop.
Yeah.
So just really big plus for me. Happy to listen to it. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah. So I'm going to start this off with my biggest critique of the record, which I mentioned to you before today, which is as I started listening to this, I looked at the tracks and I was like, oh my God, what a crazy coincidence that he has pick up the pieces on this album and we're doing the Average White Band this week. It's a totally different song that just happens to have the same name. Yeah. Not even close to the same song.
And it's like not even a common name. Like it's not like it's like
and it's like it's just like that he's aware of the original.
Wild stuff.
Yeah. So other than that and the album cover, I was hooked immediately. Like the first track was amazing. And the New Orleans sound that's so evidently here. Like you can tell this record couldn't have been made from anyone outside of the city of New Orleans.
No.
And you mentioned how much you like his vocals. It's also really evident on this album, especially in the closing track, which is a 2.5 minute piano instrumental called Burnt Mouth Boogie.
Yeah.
Dude is just like on another level of boogie woogie piano playing. Like, and not to spoiler alert, but like this is obviously a man who's working with what we would call 10 skill on piano in our grading. So like there's no denying it. Like he's insanely good.
Each just second, you can tell the more you listen to music and the more you like critically listen to music, the more you can tell when something just feels second nature. Mm-hmm. Like there are things that sound hard and are hard and show off a ton of talent, but you can tell that person was like at the edge of their rope playing it. Mm-hmm. And that's not a critique. It's just like sometimes you are able to showcase the top notch of your skill in recordings, and that's wonderful. Yeah. This dude is playing things like that are most people's top of their skill branch, and it just sounds effortless to me.
Totally. Yeah.
While singing.
Wild musician. Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, maybe not at the same time on the records. I don't know for sure. I don't have the details of recording. But live, he's doing it. He's playing it and singing it. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah, I was just super impressed by the musicianship. I was really impressed by the sound of this record. I liked it a lot. So I'm going to move on to Pin Your Spin. And here's the thing. I enjoyed listening to this album, so I don't want to make it sound like I didn't. Okay. But compared to the first one, this album leaned more into a traditional funk sound and less into that New Orleans jazz sound of the first record. And I felt like it wasn't quite his bread and butter the way that the first album was his bread and butter. Okay. I liked Pin Your Spin. Pretty much every song all the way through. Like there was nothing not enjoyable about it. You have to maybe wait until like pretty late on in the album before he really starts whipping out the piano skills. He doesn't have those really giant moments that just draw your attention throughout the song a ton. A lot of great fills, like wonderful piano fills throughout the earlier tracks, but no like really stand out like holy shit, this guy is playing songs like the first album was riddled with.
Right. I get that.
I just think he writes better when he's writing with the New Orleans influence. I just think the songs are better.
Sure.
Again, not because I didn't like listening to this record, and not because I didn't think the musicians on this record were really excellent. Obviously, I know you're going to want to talk about it. There's an acapella tune on here that's the showstopper. Like that's the number one song on this album. That's the best thing that they did here. And the closing instrumental, Zulu Street, that's what I was kind of waiting for this whole album to be. So it's a step back for me in terms of, I just don't think he writes the funk genre as well as I think he writes that when it's blues and boogie woogie infused with the New Orleans sound. It didn't work as well as the first album, but I still thought it was a good album. Had I not heard the first album first, maybe I wouldn't have even had that critique as much. But that's where I stand.
I get that. Listen, and I think that exact same thing. So my first note was, it feels like John Cleary's playing with a hand tied behind his back.
Yeah, right. Like
It
there would
just
be little fills and trills
yeah.
throughout and spots, and I'm like, okay, there it is. Where's that?
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. Like it did feel a little watered down. I guess the influence of the other members, not to take away from them. It's all very
No,
talented
everyone
and
was
good
very good.
music. But I totally agree with you. If we had heard this album first,
And
I don't think we'd have any. We'd be talking about the second album like what a clear evolution of this guy.
right,
Like
exactly.
and I don't think this was a de-evolution at all, so much
It's
as just a change of
different,
pace.
and I just felt like the pace was not
Sure.
his wheelhouse as much as the other one.
I get that. I did thoroughly enjoy this album in a different way for sure,
Yeah,
but still really enjoyed
totally.
it. The acapella song, here's my problem. I listened to them at work, so I don't have the name of the song.
Don't
But
worry, Al.
the acapella track was the showstopper for me.
Best ain't good enough.
Best ain't good enough. Yes. Okay. It was really good. It was
It
really,
was really good.
the harmonies. Whenever you can nail harmonic sound to the point where your tone matches, because like fun fact, guys, harmonies aren't just about hitting the same notes. You think it is because mathematically it is,
Right.
but it's about vowel sounds, about almost like matching your vibrato a little bit. Like you don't, if you have the same exact vibrato, you sound weird, and that's why if you ever sing and double and triple your own harmonies, there's like a weird, like what is it? What uncanny valley effect almost, like almost
sure.
like it sounds robotic a little bit, and it's because your vibrato is the same. So if you ever decide to do like multi-tracking at all, purposely make it a point to try to alter your vibrato a little bit on each harmonic take, and you will notice it sounds better. But matching your tone and trying to get your vibrato similar in different voices is what really locks in a harmony. And it's clear that they have locked in harmonies. Also, I need to talk to Mr. Cleary because I choose to believe that for one of these titles, one of these tracks, he's just trying to use like a slang version of a word. But I need to explain to him, especially in the year 2004, nuttin' has a very different term that he there's a song called Ain't Nuttin' Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it means like ain't nothing nice, as in like nothing is nice. But it's totally just an instrumental track called Ain't Nuttin' Nice. And it's like, I mean, yeah, but like I don't know why we gotta have a song about it. Just throwing that out there, Mr. Cleary. Just some helpful criticism.
Yes, I very much needed.
And then, but anyway, really good album. I'll take us into So Swell. The passage of time is evident. I will say that. The voice is deeper. The melodies are, not. I'm a little more melodic. A little less frantic. This album is incredible. I really thoroughly enjoyed listening to it. I was not expecting to, although I guess by this point I kind of was. But like as we've mentioned so many times on this podcast, I always get really apprehensive on people's most recent albums.
You never know.
You never know, and so
20
often
years
on
have
this. But like just so often we get just an absolute fucking nosedive off the quality chart. And while I didn't think that would happen with him, because like I kind of know his background,
to that kind of thing. You know which artists are kind of susceptible to it happening, which ones
right.
aren't.
I was just so thrilled that not only did that not happen, but this could legitimately it has an argument for being the best album we listened to.
Sure.
It's crisp, it's clear, it's so evident that the fingers have stayed the same and the voice has matured in a wonderful way, like a fine wine instead of a bad cheese. And just really thrilled with the entire discography we got to listen to so far of John Cleary.
Yeah, no, I was so excited right off the bat. So seeing that the first track, the opener,
had the word boogie,
was called Swanee River Boogie, I was like, okay, we're getting the boogie woogie back, and we did, and he killed it. As you mentioned, like this is back to the sound that I was hoping for after having heard the first album. the songwriting felt like a little bit more exciting to me. I got more energy out of each song than I did on the last record. Also some pretty interesting covers that happen later on this album. Like there are a lot of versions of the song Since I Don't Have You out there. And I think some of them like the original is good. I think prior to this, I would say like the Brian Setzer Orchestra version was the clear-cut best version that I know, but Guns N' Roses has done it. A lot of people have done it.
Yeah, it's a big one.
I thought he did like a really good take on the song, and it was very much John Cleary, so that it didn't sound like any of those other versions of the song that I have already heard. It was very much his track. So I really liked his take on that. And then I'm pretty sure the song Pony Boy that he did on here was a cover of the Allman Brothers' Pony Boy. But just like a way shorter version of it. Because it's like his opening piano riff started, and I'm like, this sounds familiar. Well, I know this song. But in either case, like this was I'm gonna say rebound, but that's an absurd way to put it because the second album was good. It just wasn't quite like the love that I had for the first and third.
Yeah, I think
getting back to his roots.
I feel bad now. I do, because I included I tried to get the full picture of John Cleary, so I included one with the Absolute Monster Gentleman, and I feel like if we didn't include that, if we had instead included,
could be.
So there's another album that I was torn between, and I'll actually talk about it in my. Oh, I'll just go into the facts. We're done. We've done.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go into the facts. So his highlight, is a song called, or an album called Go Go Juice.
Okay.
So Go Go Juice won the Grammy Award for Best Regional Roots Music in the 58th annual. So in 2015, 2016? 2015, I think, would have been. Well, that's the Grammy. I'm trying to think of. I was trying to think of the Grammy. I could have just looked up the album release. So the 2015 Grammys, it won the Grammy, and basically the thing is, there's no sales numbers for John Cleary.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, I could pick this because it's the one he won an award for, and I was about to do it, and then I was like, well, let's pick one from his band, and so that way there's like the full scope. But I feel like if I would have picked Go Go Juice, which will probably make an appearance at the end of the season, I'll be honest with you.
I would be shocked if we didn't hear another album from him before the season.
Yeah, so I just food for thought on my end. But that was the highlight was, I mean, so clearly winning a Grammy Award. Winning a Grammy Award is hard in general. I really do feel like winning any type of Grammy Award with a style of music that's this niche.
Sure.
Because it is, even though we really enjoy it. Like, it's a niche genre in terms of the charts. So kudos for that. I will talk about his unique thing, which we did kind of mention a few times. It's the fact that this dude's British.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. It was.
It blew me away.
There's no way of knowing. There's no way to tell that this dude is British if you listen to any of his music.
No.
And so basically what happened was his uncle brought like records. Returning from trips to America, brought records of a bunch of R&B artists, but specifically Professor Longhair.
Okay, so New Orleans sound.
Yeah, the New Orleans sound. And it inspired him so much that he became this guy. And he just, as soon as he left school, he just dedicated his whole life to making this style of music. And I think that's pretty darn unique. Now, I don't have a low light, and I don't have a mean or nice.
That's okay.
This dude just kind of exists in the world. Like, this is the level of fame and popularity that I would be thrilled with.
Oh my God.
Like, enough people who like
Grammys,
music will know who I am.
Bonnaroo,
right.
Like being featured on television shows, other people.
Right. But also not being unable to like go to a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Like, this is the level of, like, anybody who says they want to be famous, if they don't want to be this level of famous, they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
I agree.
Like, This guy is gonna be successful and be able to make money playing his music for the rest of his life, but also be able to get like a nice burger and not be
Sure.
swarmed by the
Yeah.
media.
Absolutely.
So the 6 degrees is the only other thing that I have,
Mhm.
and it's a pretty easy one. He has performed all over and with a ton of people.
Yeah.
The two people that I'm choosing to highlight from our things are Eric Burden,
Sure.
who we know Eric Burden,
Yeah.
but also Eric Clapton, the two Erics.
Oh, okay. Not BB?
I mean, I'm sure he did.
He played with BB King as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he did, but here was the thing. That felt too obvious to me to pick another like artist in the space. So I mean, Eric Burden and Eric Clapton are not well known for their New Orleans style funk.
We have covered another artist who is known for their New Orleans style funk music in the past. If you remember Big Sam's Funky Nation.
Oh, Big Sam's Funky Nation, of course.
Yeah, and both Big Sam and John Cleary were in that. Is it Trem or Treme, the HBO thing after Hurricane Katrina?
Yeah.
They were two of the New Orleans musicians who were featured in that.
Okay.
I'll give you a little extra.
Wow, this dude is like a staple of. It's crazy to me that he's British and he's like a New Orleans staple person.
And like, as he should be.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying it like good for him. Good for him. All right, that's all I've got. Let's move on.
Excellent. You want to run straight through?
Yeah, man. Why not? Let's live.
All right, average white band time. Tell us about them.
The Average White Band, also known as AWB according to Wikipedia, was a Scottish funk band, funk and R&B band, and they were active from 1971 to 1982. Took a little bit of a break, and then in 1989 said, "Let's get the band back together," and are still active until 2024 when they stopped again.
That's right.
That's what I got. That's what I got for you. We covered 3 albums because that's what we do here. We started with 1970 somethings. 1973's Show Your Hand. Then I got you. We'll show each other's hands. Then we followed it up with some real 1976's Soul Searching. Really, really delved into that. And then our Soul Searching in 2018 turned us Inside Out, and we followed it up with Inside Out.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to get started with Show Your Hand. So obviously, I'm somewhat familiar with Average White Band coming into this. The album that I know them best for and the single that I know them best for, we strangely did not cover that record. So we'll probably hear that before the end of the season too. Just spoiler alert.
Shock and awe.
But Show Your Hand seems to be kind of buried in a way that it wasn't available on Apple Music at all. I had never heard of it or seen it. And
listen, the trouble I had finding John Cleary's second album, I forgot that I had trouble finding this album until you said that. And I also, I will tell you before we do the scoring, what I had to do to listen to Pin Your Spin.
Okay, I'm excited. So I was coming into this album, not really sure what to expect, because sometimes when this is the deal with artists, it's because they kind of change their sound and then they keep their stuff that's kind of well established as part of their discography, and you can't find that first album or two because it's so wildly different or something like that. This was not the case with this album, which was really good. They had a really nice groovy sound. They had great use of harmony and backing vocals throughout. The horns sounded fantastic on this record. I thought this was a really good debut album from a band that was very consistent with what most people who know anything about them would have considered their sound to be. And I guess my biggest question leaving was okay, why is this part of their discography so buried? Because this is right on par with the most successful part of their career as far as I am concerned. And in fact, had some really high highs. I don't I don't know. Like I don't know what was wrong with this record. Can you explain to me why?
Yeah, I can tell you
What the
exactly
problem
what's
was?
wrong with this album. This album, the reason people didn't like this album is because it was made by a bunch of liars. It was made
Because
by
they're
a bunch of
Scottish
liars.
and
We
they
already went over how John Cleary
yeah.
lied. He lied because he's British.
Right. And they lied.
But here's the thing. No, that's what you think, right?
That's what I think.
It's they lied because they're Scottish, but they're playing funk, and obviously they
right.
don't sound Scottish. But why they actually are liars, Nick?
Okay.
Is the name of the band, because this is above average music, and they are called the Average White Band, and we have listened to plenty of white bands, and they are not the average.
No,
so
not
they
at
are
all.
fucking liars, because this album was so good.
It was really good.
It was really good. Like, yet again, so right now, seriously, we are so spoiled on this episode. I'm telling you that right now, because the album that we critiqued would have been our favorite album on at least 6 episodes this season.
Sure.
So like we're just rolling right through. This album was really great. I thought almost every aspect of it was top notch. The vocals sounded great. The funk sound is so good. I mean, if you're not getting like punched in the stomach a little bit by the bass, is it even funk?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Like if I'm listening to it in a room with like speakers, I should feel like I got a shit. That's good funk music.
Sure.
And this is good funk music.
Yeah, it is.
And I will take us on to Soul Searching, where we'll find out. I mean, did they keep up? Spoiler alert, yes. Spoiler alert, this album is also really good. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to tell you. We're at the point now where pretty much all the way through, you're getting good instrumentation, you're getting tight sounds, you're getting a ton of not live, but a ton of like analog instruments. So like always a beautiful sound when you're getting like that feeling of a room full of musicians.
Yeah, for sure.
That is like the top, not like the cream of the crop for me. And I didn't even know that until we started doing this podcast, that I preferred listening to music like that. I just didn't know it. There is a place for layered recording, and it exists, and it's really good. But and this could be that for all I know.
Sure.
But it's the feeling that they're all in the same room that this album exudes. That is my favorite part. Because that
compliments to the engineers who worked on this.
Compliments to the engineers. It was the first Fleet Foxes album that unlocked that for me. All the way back then was when I realized that the thing I liked most about their album was that it felt like they were in one room singing to each other. Sure. And I was like, that sounds so good. And it's been consistent ever since. So this is another big plus for me.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed this album as well. Again, like my biggest thing with it was that I was surprised that it was the choice instead of AWB, which is what I just had assumed coming into this. But it was cool because it got me listening to another Average White Band album that I had not heard before. And I feel like their sound, I guess the only way you could say it maybe changed from the first album is that it is a little smoother. Like the edges are smoothed on this album in terms of the overall sound of it compared to the first one. You get the Brecker brothers playing horns on this record, who are fucking amazing. And the musicianship is super tight. So I have nothing but nice things to say about this group so far. So I'm going to go ahead and move into Inside Out, which is different. And I started listening to it and I almost called you and said, hold on, this record is different. It's only 4 new, it's a Hell Freezes Over. You get 4 fresh tracks and then a live album. And then I was like, well, we're covering the Average White Band. Shouldn't we at least be able to talk about Pick Up the Pieces at some fucking point? Let's just leave it.
I get it.
So even though we got a couple of versions of songs that we listened to on Soul Searching again, I thought it was worth it because it's live performances of them with the full band,
Yeah.
and B, 40 years later. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing to hear how they sound. So I'm going to start with the 4 new studio tracks, which, you hear the inevitable aging of the vocals because
For sure.
it's a band from the 70s and it's the year 2018.
Yeah.
But I thought it still sounded really good. Like the 4 new tracks, one of them was a James Taylor cover. They did a really interesting version of Shower the People by James Taylor that was like totally original in terms of the way that they approached it. I really liked the 4 new tracks. I thought they were still pretty much right where you would hope a group from this time period would be all these decades later. And then you get the 8 live tracks and you get some of those hits that you missed. And they sound so good live still. I mean, the band was so tight. You really get to hear all of the horns too. Like, I don't know how many people who are not technically members of the band or whatever that are touring musicians, part of the touring band or whatever. But hearing them all together at once, they killed it. And like doing an 8-minute version or whatever of Pick Up the Pieces at the end. Like, I would have loved to have been at that concert. This is a band that was still earning that ticket money well into their 5th decade. Let's see, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. So they're well into their 5th decade of established musicians. Totally worth the price of admission to go see these guys. So a little different version of an album, but I think it shows us different parts of who they are as an artist that helps kind of our broader picture of understanding the average white band. So I'm glad that we stuck with it and I had a good experience.
Yeah, listen, I completely agree. So we have switched vocals. I will say that. We have switched vocalists. I looked to confirm. It looked like the first albums we listened to had Hamish Stewart on vocals. Mm-hmm. And this album, from my research,
seems like everybody does some vocals. They all do backing, and then there's
it does seem like in 2011 they have a guy named Brent Carter from 2011 till the end of the band in 24 who is a vocalist.
Sure.
So I'm going to assume that he was singing lead vocals because he only is credited as a vocalist.
Okay.
With some the other one is Alan Gorey, who is a founding member, and then the whole way through was contributing on multiple instruments, but vocals being one of them. And yeah, so that's that. I listen, it is what it is. I completely agree with you. This album slapped. The live music part of it was surprising to me, but welcome. I did like hearing Pick Up the Pieces because I wouldn't have been able to tell you stone cold what is the average white band song.
But when you hear it,
I hear it, I'm like, oh, I get it. We're there. We're on the same page. And then I, like you, had a moment of being very surprised that we didn't hear it.
Yeah, right.
I was like, why is this the first time I'm hearing the song? And, obviously your statements did make sense, and I'm sure we will hear it later on in the season.
Yes.
But all in all, I don't need to say what you said all over again. This was an enjoyable listen.
Yeah.
I thoroughly had fun. Great week.
Yeah, you gotta love
maybe
it when
maybe the best week of the season.
I mean, it's tough because we've actually had a string of pretty good weeks.
Yeah,
like we had 10,000 Maniacs, Manic Street Preachers last time, which was like better than expected. Fela Kuti and Ravi Shankar was excellent. Phoenix and Goose was really good. So we've had a lot of rough weeks, and then as the season has picked up, we've started getting more and more good ones. So
listen,
fingers crossed.
I'll take it.
Okay, let me talk about things. Right. Things. Okay, unique. My first thought was that this is Scottish funk music. What is that? But then I also had to say they are one of those groups that has sold 1 million copies of a single that's an instrumental. So I feel like that is we don't get it very often. But if you're a band that can get a gold single, which is 1 million copies of your single, on an instrumental piece, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
I think so.
They also wrote the theme song for the former New York pro soccer club, the New York Cosmos, which existed from the years 1970 to 1985.
Oh, sure. Of course it did. Okay.
So everyone knows about that. All you American soccer heads from the 70s are probably stoked about that.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. The highlight. I think it has to be the album we didn't talk about, which is AWB. For this record, the band relocated to LA, and then they put out this funk record that went gold, even though Soul Searching later goes platinum. They did have a bunch of gold records. But it also obviously has their highest charting single and Pick Up the Pieces, and it goes #1 in the United States. AWB charts at #1, Pick Up the Pieces charts at #1. So all of that together, I think, makes AWB their highlight.
That is so, you know what's funny, Nick? This might be the first time in the entire podcast that both of our highlights were an album
that we didn't
cover.
Yeah,
on the
it's
list.
strange. Like, how often do you have a band that has a #1 album with a #1 single? Both of them are like earning certifications, but it's not their highest selling album.
It's strange.
It is a little strange. Lowlights. I got a couple of those. We had one of the original members. Let me get his first name. I just wrote last names down like a bozo. Robbie McIntosh was with the group from 71 to 74 when he died of a heroin overdose. He was only 24 years old.
Dude.
You hate to see that. That's rough.
I really do.
Alan Gorey, who you mentioned, who is bass, guitars, vocals, keyboards throughout the history of the band, also overdosed at that time. But strangely enough, and this is also kind of a 6 degrees, the reason that he didn't die was that Cher kept him awake until medical help was able to get there. And attend to him.
Okay.
So Cher saved Alan Gorey's life.
Well, shout out to Cher then. That's awesome.
Totally. Yeah, very glad that she did that.
Yeah.
And then their low light, I guess, is just the fact that the band has decided to retire. Also, like they did their final tour. They announced it in June of 2023. And then the final concert film that they made was released this year. So that's
it's weird that they had a final tour, but then actually stopped touring.
Yeah, right. I know.
How many times have we seen a band be like,
Never.
The final tour, and
Part
then next year
7.
they're like, yeah, we're back again.
Yeah. I found nothing mean, but as far as nice, they played their final show, their final concert at Harris Stowe State University in St. Louis, which is an HBCU, historically black college or university, because the band, even though they were white Scottish people, had like a very large following and connection with Black Americans, and that was kind of their main audience and where they hit over here. So there was that was something that was meaningful to them as a group. And they've also played different benefit concerts. One of them was for ALS research, and they played that concert with Patti Smith.
Hey,
but Patti Smith with Y's, not
Patti Smythe.
Patti Smythe, yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And that leads me to my 6 degrees, which is, I think, the only thing left. And Ani McIntyre and Robbie McIntosh were both actually studio musicians, which is very common for a lot of these bands.
Yeah.
They're both featured on Chuck Berry's song My Ding-a-Ling.
Hey, there we go.
Yep. And then they also broke through, like they had their big break as openers for Eric Clapton in 1973.
Look at us sharing a 6 degrees.
Indeed. And they also did like a whole collaborative album, which I'm super curious to listen to later, called Benny and Us in 1977, where it was the Average White Band and also Ben E. King, who we talked about briefly when we covered the Drifters.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So that's kind of cool too. And I think that's all the information that I have.
All right. Well, then here's the thing. Let's get ready to score. I'm going to tell the story about pin to spin.
Oh,
pin
yeah,
to spin.
yeah. Go ahead.
So real quick, I listen, not a sponsor. I listen on YouTube Music. This is pretty standard. I have YouTube Premium for other things, and it just works that I have YouTube Music because of that. That's what I normally use. I don't have Spotify Premium.
Me neither.
So Pin Your Spin, not on YouTube Music. And what the weird part is YouTube Music, if it doesn't have the album, but there is a YouTube video of the album, you can just play that.
Sure.
Didn't have a YouTube video at the album. Weird. Couldn't find one. I look, and then I go on actual YouTube because sometimes people will make a playlist.
Okay. Yeah.
No playlist. So at this point, I'm like, okay, fine. I will go on Spotify. I'll suffer through the ads. Go on Spotify. Find Pin Your Spin. Listen to Pin Your Spin. It is not the right album. What? I don't know that until it's done. And then I'm like, huh, that was weird. That was that didn't sound like the first one at all. And then I knew it was his band, so I'm like, oh, maybe that's why. And then I like look up the track listing and compare it to Spotify. Oh, no. It is just not the same album. So then I'm like, well, fuck. I just listened to an entire wrong album. That's clearly was not even John Cleary. I don't know who that was. I don't know what Spotify did. Regardless, at this point, I'm like, am I going to have to wait until I get home and then pull out my iPad and listen on Apple Music? Because you didn't text me that you couldn't find it. So I figured it was on Apple Music. Right.
Everything was there for him.
I used my context clues to put together that it was on Apple Music. But at first I'm at work and I'm like, okay, so I'm going on lunch. And then I'm like, I'm going to spend my lunch and I'm going to see if I can find this anywhere other than Apple Music because then I can listen to it at work. And so I ended up re-downloading Amazon Music, logging into it. And thankfully the correct Pin Your Spin was on that, but it was a true journey for me to find that album. And now we can go into our scores.
Okay. Here's the deal. This first category, like
it's rough.
We've had pretty much nothing but nice things to say about any of these groups so far. I think there's a pretty clear winner when it comes to cultural impact. And it's the band that people have heard of with the song that everyone has heard that have sold several different gold and platinum albums.
100%.
Average White Band is going to start with a higher score here.
Yes. Now the question is, what is the score? Because I still don't think the score is high.
No,
it's just higher in comparison to John Cleary.
I think it's like a 2-ish.
Yeah.
You know.
I was thinking about it too. I mean, they do have some certifications that'll help them more in the next category.
Yeah, but that also shows that there was like a consistent following.
Yeah.
You know, like they gold in 74, gold in 75, platinum in 76, gold in 78. Like this is a band that clearly had a consistent following for a number of years. So I think they have to get more than the one-hit wonder point. I think at least a 2 is solid. John Cleary, on the other hand, doesn't have any of that stuff to fall back on, really.
Right. So here's the things that'll give John Cleary a little bit because he's not going to get the same score. He is clearly a staple of the New Orleans. He's clearly a staple of the New Orleans community. And the style of music. If you're a fan of this music at all, you'll probably know who he is. Just based on that whole fact of it all. And then the one thing that I want to say to give him a little bit of a boost is from my research, he has managed to do something the average white band has not, which is win a Grammy.
Sure.
So, and win a Grammy in the 20-teens. So it's showing that while he may not have reached the top level of sales and certifications that average white band managed in the 70s, he has definitely more recently been on people's name, like been the name on people's tongues because he won an award in the 20-teens. Not arguing for a score anywhere near as high as the 2 that average white band got, but I feel like maybe that could get him close to a 1.
Yeah, I think that's fine. How about I give him a 0.9?
I love it.
All right, moving on to breadth of work. both of these artists fall into the between 11 and 14 album space that gives them a 5.8 to start from.
Cool.
Starting with John Cleary, unfortunately, I think we first have to go down because
a little
the
bit.
sales aren't there.
There are, from everything that I've seen, I cannot find confirmed sales or certifications. So
sure,
if they exist and are just not being reported on Wikipedia because he has not reached the level where there's like extremely accurate Wikipedia reporting on him, that is understandable, but I don't see it and I don't have access to the RIAA.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Like, it's sometimes with artists like that, I can just kind of Google their total album sales and get a rough estimate, or at least an album by album breakdown. And I don't have anything for him, so I think he's going to have to lose some here, which I'm sure he'll earn back.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take away the full 0.5, but I don't think it would be crazy to take away the 0.4.
Yeah, I think 0.4 works.
Okay. As your artist, how many points would you like to help him earn back for quality?
I mean, here's the thing. His worst album is 80% of our episode's best album. Mm-hmm. The only thing we didn't like about it is because we got to hear
the other two.
We got to hear him better first.
Yeah.
Like comparing him to himself, that second album was weaker. But comparing him to other artists, which is what this score would do,
yeah,
it's still way up there. And I'm going to give him a 0.4.
Okay, so he's earning those points right back. And I'm torn. I'm like between a 0.3 and a 0.4. I am very stingy with these. I
know you are. Listen, I know you are. I think if you mentally make sure that you are comparing him to the other artists that we cover, which is what the rankings do, which is what these ratings do.
All right, I'm going to give him a 0.35.
That's fair.
And that rounds up to a 0.4. And then we get to the average white band. Different story because they have several golds, a platinum, a gold single. They're going up a little bit from their 5.8 starting, probably to like a 6.
Yeah, I think that works.
As their starting place. And I'm going to give them a 0.3.
Yeah, I'm also going to give them a 0.3. I nothing against them at all. Really enjoyed the listen. I just was less blown away, we'll say, which is not a bad thing. I mean, saying that I really enjoyed it, but just wasn't quite like blown away by the talent as I was with John Cleary. That's, it is what it is.
Yeah. Instrumental talent is, I think, clearly going to be a very good score for both of these artists.
For sure.
John Cleary, though, his piano playing is by far the best thing we heard this week. Like, everyone was really good. He is, he's at that level where we're like, there are other people as good, but there's no one better.
Yeah. I truly think, here's the thing. When you get to the upper echelon of our scoring, which we're about to do, I feel like there can be some danger if you play multiple instruments, because typically we grade on the whole scale of instrumentation. And while he's definitely a 10 piano player,
for sure,
he's, and I love piano players. I mean, Billy Joel, Elton John, we know, I mean, these are my people. He's right up there with them in terms of talent on the instrument.
Yeah.
Vocals, he's not a 10.
No.
He's not a 10 because a 10 vocalist is, an insane score to get.
That's right. That's your Whitney Houston's, Jackie Wilson's. You're just...
You're people that their voice is just a pure iconic sound.
Yeah.
And even some of the iconic vocals didn't get a 10 from us.
Exactly.
So all that to say, vocally, he's still probably comfortably above average. It's a good sound, good tone. He's matured his voice really well. The band is great. I don't even know what number. I mean, we're in the 9s at least.
Yeah, I was gonna put down like a 9-ish.
Yeah.
That's
I
how I
think that
feel.
makes sense. I think when you if we were just grading him on piano, it's a 10, and I
Yeah,
just want that to be
exactly.
out there so we
100%.
can, but because we're grading it piano and his vocals and the band that behind him, I think a 9 makes sense.
Yeah, an average weight band, not in that category, but
No.
everything's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Definitively like a group that I think is probably comfortable in the 7s for us. Um,
Yeah,
between
I
all the
think that's
different
fair.
parts and strong vocals in multiple places. Um, so I would be comfortable giving them like a 7.3-ish,
I think a
um,
7.3
in
works
that
because I
area.
think that also takes away just a bit from the large like the revolving door of main
Mhm.
instrumentalists.
Sure.
You also, you do have consistence in arguably the most important instrument for funk, which is the bass. It's the same guy the whole way through. So kudos for that, because I do think bass is maybe the 1A in terms of what a funk band needs.
Mm.
You need, I mean, you need
It's
a
that rhythm section. It's that bass and drums together,
for
It's
sure,
the
for
like
sure.
that unit.
Well, yes, but in any of that, the rhythm section's important.
Yeah.
I just think that
Well,
for
it's like building a
most,
house without a foundation.
exactly, I agree. I think in most this is crazy. I never defend the bass, and I'm about to. I
Yeah.
think for most music, the bass is that foundation, but is easily overlooked to the average listener.
Sure.
And I
If
think
everything's great and the bass isn't, a lot of people will love it anyway.
yeah.
If the bass is great, the group is going to be
But I just
good,
think
whether you
funk.
like their style or not.
I think funk specifically like turns the bass up. Like the
Yeah.
bass,
Oh my
even the
god,
average
yeah.
listener has to listen to the bass if you're
In
listening to
funk,
funk
yeah,
because it
for sure.
is so vital.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
So I think that is that 7.3.
Um, when it comes to songwriting talent and probably poetic too, when we get there, like I feel like both of these were just like good in and about the same place. Like I liked that I could hear some differences between albums for all these groups. I liked when the very rare cover was thrown in somewhere, but
Yeah.
it was done in a super original and different way. Like they're both groups that are playing from traditions that have existed before them, but they're giving it their twist and they're executing well on that thing, like
Yeah.
again, above average scores. This one I think is pretty close though, for me at least.
I agree. Some positives in John Cleary's side because he's my artist. He is the primary songwriter for all of his albums, even the albums with the band. He is the
Yeah.
primary contributor and songwriter and lyricist. So the fact that he's doing all that is, I think, a plus in his favor.
Mm-hmm.
And it is all enjoyable. Like I said, we're. It is a privilege in weeks like this to look for things to critique.
Yeah, I think what we're gonna come to in these last two categories, where I feel like both of these artists are comparable, is that their songwriting is really strong within their respective traditions, and the poetry of it is like not cringe or bad or
It's
wrong,
fine.
but like is pretty just it is what it is.
It's pretty average.
It's yeah.
If the average white band meant like lyrically writing,
Sure.
yes.
Yeah.
But musically, no. And you're liars.
No.
And you're liars.
Right. So I would be willing to give both of these artists, in terms of their songwriting, from somewhere into from like the mid 6s into the 7s.
Yeah.
And for poetic, probably like the mid 4s into the 5s. And that's what I think.
I agree for the most part. I think let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do this. Because I think this is where we need to be. I think we're going to give them overall the same score here between these two categories.
Okay.
I think we split it up in a little way. So I think for songwriting, let's give the edge a little bit to the average white band, just a little bit. So let's, if we're going to give
John Cleary a 6.7 and the average white band a 6.8.
I love that. And then let's go into lyrical things, into poetic talent, because the average white band's biggest song and only real hit in terms of sustainability right now is an instrumental piece. So there
are 4 words in it.
There are 4 words in it. You are correct. But for the most part, it's instrumental.
Sure.
So I think we'll flip that around and we will give the average white band a 4.8 and John Cleary a 4.9.
Already done. I typed in those exact numbers.
Boom.
Amazing. Is there anything for X Factor that we need to consider?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we've talked about the weirdness of the fact that both of these artists in very primarily American song styles are British.
Yeah.
Are from across the pond. But I don't think it's worth X Factor. I think it's just interesting.
Sure. The only other thing I can think of is like average white that's interesting about average white band in a totally different musical sphere is that they are like one of the most sampled artists. So like if you think about some of the pillars of hip hop music, artists such as Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, TLC, Ice Cube, Eric B. and Rakim, Nas, and A Tribe Called Quest have all sampled average white band songs in their music. And all of those are like very important artists in the formation of hip hop.
I completely agree.
Even though that's not really our scope and not something I would pretend to know a lot about.
Nick, okay, serious question for you. Would a 0.1 make or break?
No.
Then let's give them a 0.1 because I do think that's interesting. But I didn't think it's interesting enough to change the scope of this episode.
For sure. I think you're right on. And it doesn't change anything, but holy shit, is it close.
Okay.
It's like a really close.
Ooh.
And it goes to show just like how good of a week it was and how much we enjoyed everything because these artists both did well and like very close. So I'll give you the winner. Winning this week is John Cleary. And he scored a 27.7.
That is an incredible score for that low of a cultural impact.
Yeah. And the average white band scored a 27.6.
No way. So the 0.1 almost made a difference.
It was 0.2 apart.
That's crazy.
And I was like, yeah, let's give him the extra 0.1 because
that's wild. Good. Yeah. I mean, honestly, good. It was such an enjoyable week. It was a great 100%. Listen all the way through.
Yeah, I love it. Now, next time we're gonna dig into our like Southern rock. So we got a little funky. We got a little New Orleans jazz in there. Next time, very Southern rock. So we'll see how that goes.
We maybe
it'll be the same thing. Maybe we'll be like, wow, these were almost exactly the same artist. They're 0.1 away.
Hey, but we'll find out.
You got to tune in next time to find out for sure.
Listen, here's the thing, everybody. Do yourselves a favor. Go check out some of these albums.
Definitely.
And after you're done that, I want you to really sit and think to yourself, what is my favorite artist? You know, you get asked that question and you're like, oh, I don't know. There's too many. Think about it.
I have a top 5 that I usually give.
Yeah, and it's so easy to be like, well, I like this artist, this artist, this artist. Really sit with yourself and like use it as almost like a meditative guide and pick through the songs in your head and think, what is my favorite artist? What artist could I not live without listening to again?
Yeah, that's
your homework, everybody. I want results next week.
Okay.
And if you don't give them to me, I will tear up. One solitary tear. So while you're doing that, everybody, have a great day. And yeah, fuck Jerry Lee Lewis. We, of course, I mean, we have to.
Spay and neuter your little Richards.
Perfect. All right. All right, I'm gonna go unlive before we say goodbye because I want to. So we're gonna say goodbye to the stream now, just in case we ever cut these podcasts again. I like to end the episode and then end the stream. So if you're still watching on YouTube, who are you and how did you find us? And with that being, and then we do this.